Alright, today we're going to build the PVS-14. I'm going to try to do this without interruptions and hopefully somebody could use this video. Okay, first what we're going to do is we're going to open the PVS-14. Okay, so it's going to come like this, and you just unscrew the eyepiece. Then this ring, sometimes it's tightened in, sometimes it's not if you bought a kit, but anyway, if it's tightened in, you gotta use this tool to remove it. Okay, but in my case it's already out. And then this, they call it the light tube or the light ring. This is used to reflect the indicator light in front of your lens in case it's a low battery or the light is too bright out there. Different indicators in the PVS-14 device. Okay, so we're gonna set those aside. It's the screwdriver, we're gonna need it in a second, and then we're gonna take apart the rest of the device. Since we're installing a manual gain tube, we have to take this compartment off. If you were doing a auto gain tube, you could just insert it and align the prongs with the pads and then the notch in the back with the notch on the tube. So one thing to pay attention to, and it all depends on where you get your device, but I did receive the housings before with the lens inside, the objective lens. The lock ring on the objective was not tightened all the way, and that will cause the lens to impact the tube or even the not to focus. Okay, so make sure if you receive one of those and you have the tool for the lens, and I'm going to show you this. This tool is for the objective lens lock ring. Make sure your objective lens is tightened in, or your lock ring is tightened in all the way. Okay, so when you open this, you gotta do it slowly because there's a ribbon cable connected to the J-arm mount, and that is used to turn the device off when it flipped up. Okay, but right now just make sure you open it slowly. Now if your screws are still in there, you could keep them. If not, just set them aside. Okay, I like to set them in this compartment right here. Now comes the tube. Okay, this is a manual gain tube with a pigtail. Okay, so it's a 11769 tube. Okay, just be careful with this pigtail, it's very sensitive. Today I'm building two PVS-14s for my customers. I have a customer that ordered two of them. This is a 1400 plus FOM tube. So we remove those factory sticker protectors. Okay, and this will be your tube. Okay, so if you look at it in the light, you're gonna see some smudges here from the factory sticker, and we can get those cleaned out. Okay, try to do it on the camera. So okay, some of the smudges are not gonna come off with this, and you might need to wet it or use a lens cloth. Do not use a regular microfiber towel or cloth because it will scratch and it will cause damage. Okay, so this is not coming off with this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a lens cloth, and those are slightly expensive. Mostly they come from Japan. It's for camera lenses and mirrors. You could spray it and clean it. Okay, do not use a regular microfiber cloth. You will damage your tube objective side. Okay, so now when it comes clean, okay, any particles on this tube might not show up in your view, but if you use the device with the cap on, you will see any spots that is on this side. Okay, I'm trying to keep it in front of the camera while getting it to reflect the light so I can see if there's any spots on it. Okay, so it's coming clean. Let me take it off the camera and see if I could see it in the light better. Okay, you don't want any smudges on this tube. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, so it's coming clean. Those those stickers, the factory stickers, do leave a smudge on the tube, so you want to make sure you clean that really well, otherwise you're gonna have to take it apart and clean it again. So okay, so I want to say this one is clean. Now one last step is clean the edges with a wet fiber Q-tip. These are specifically for lenses and tubes. Do not use a regular Q-tip, that will leave fibers behind. Okay, so this is a one-time use Q-tip, and then you throw it out. I have those, they have two sides, so makes it more economical, and they're not cheap, but they are the appropriate tool for use with the tube. Okay, you want to clean this really well, because this is gonna go on the objective side, and to re-clean it you're gonna have to take the whole device apart, versus the screen which is on the other side. I'll show you. If there's a spot on it, which most likely will appear in your image, you could just unscrew the eyepiece and clean that easier. Okay, so this is this side. You're not gonna see anything on this side. If it's dirty, you're not gonna see it, but you will see it in your image once you assemble the device, and once you assemble the device and you turn it on. If there's any particles on this side of the screen, you are gonna see it in your image. So just clean it really well. I use a pattern, so your pads are on top, and I use a motion like this, swiping down, so if there is anything that's just being squished around or moved around, it moves all the way to the bottom, and you could scoop all of it all at once. Okay, so this is your screen basically that goes on your eyepiece side of the device. Okay, so just like to clean it really well, so I don't have to open the device over and over again. Okay, so I think this is clean. Okay, so we're gonna put it inside the device, and the way you're gonna do that is push your objective a little bit out, okay, and stick your pigtail in slowly. You want to line up the pads, and there's a notch. I'm gonna point it out right now. So you see the notch right here. Is the camera focused? Okay, so there's a notch right here, and needs to line up with the notch on the tube. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you want to push the tube in and make sure the notch sits correctly. If you're pushing the tube in without opening the device because you have an auto gain, just make sure it lines up, because if it doesn't, your tube might keep moving and your image will cut out. And I received a lot of devices that I had to repair that had a loose lock ring, and the notch wasn't lined up, so the tube was moving in there. I repaired a few for customers that did not buy from me. They just brought them in for repair. So now the gain control pad is what I call it, and pins are going to go in here. Let me line this up correctly. Okay, so once it's in, make sure it's sitting right. Don't push too hard, but it needs to feel that it's in there. Okay, now you're gonna close the device. What you're gonna do is you want to grab this, and you want to make sure you close it without pinching any of those ribbon cables. Okay, so you see the device is sealed. You see the seal inside the housing, and then it needs to line up. Okay, so you're gonna close it without pinching your ribbon cables, and I'm trying to do this on camera. I did it before in hyperlapse. It's easier, but while talking and being slow, it kinda takes time. Okay, so we're 10 minutes into the video and we're almost done. So you want to tighten those screws while you're holding it, because there's still some work to do. Okay, So once this is in, and by the way, sliding the tube in is not the time consuming part. Okay, this tube I cheated on, it's been cleaned before. Okay, this was just a re-cleaning because the stickers were back on. But when one of the most time consuming parts of building any night vision device, I think, my personal opinion, just like anything else, it's subjective, is cleaning the tubes, getting the tube really clean so you don't have to open the device multiple times. Okay, so once your screws are all in, we start with the light ring. Okay, you want to place those two parts on top, so you mount your device like this on the J arm, so you want this to look like this, so the light you see is on top. Okay, because the light, the LED is here and it will light up, sorry, the LED is here in the board and it will light up this whole tube, or whole, they call it a tube but it's a ring, a plastic clear ring, so you could see the light in your image. Okay, you drop this, make sure that plastic ring is sitting in there, otherwise you might strip the thread. Try to tighten the tube lock ring without pushing that plastic ring in all the way. Okay, so what I do is I go counterclockwise for like a couple of spins to make sure that ring is sitting right, and then I go clockwise. Okay, if it doesn't feel right, then don't keep going, take it apart like I just did. Okay, pull it out, I pull it out. Okay, and make sure you see that plastic ring. See, it's not sitting all the way on all sides, so what happens is the ring is gonna sit crooked, and there's the lock ring and it might strip the thread. This tool has a weight to it, which is good, so it can push it evenly. Okay, so now you tighten and you want to give it a smidge, and then look at it, make sure the ring is sitting evenly in there and the tube is not moving. Okay, and now your tube is secure in there. Next step is you wanna, so before you put this back on, make sure this ring, the eyepiece or the ocular lens lock ring, is a couple of threads out, because the most time consuming part of this build, other than cleaning the tube, is collimating. Even though there is a PVS-14 or a monocular, collimating this still takes time, just like collimating a binocular, but it's just one side. Okay, so I don't want to tighten it all the way, just put it in snug enough not to move. Make sure that all the thread is lined up, so look at it, make sure it's not cross threaded. Okay, and you'll be able to tell when you start twisting. I usually put some thread lube or some electric lube on the threads. This one has already been lubricated, so it went in easy. Okay, and make sure that your eyepiece adjuster is all the way out, so you see how it goes in and out. Make sure it's all the way out before you screw this in, and make your life much easier. Okay, now this device is ready, but it's not ready for use yet. Two things we're gonna have to do outside, and I do that at night because I don't have a fancy device. So infinity lock ring, so you go outside, you unscrew the lock screws on this here and here, and then you focus on a star and you go slightly past infinity, just like a smidge, and then you unscrew this ring, which is the infinity lock ring, and screw it out until it touches the lens. So now you cannot focus past infinity, or just a smidge. Okay, and then you lock it, you tighten those screws back in. And then comes collimation, which I explained in a different process. Okay, so we're gonna keep this slightly loose, and we go outside, find a star. I call it my collimation star. It's usually very bright at around 9 p.m. over here where I live, and I look at it, collimate, make sure what my naked eye sees is in the same position as what my night vision device sees. Then I will lock the eyepiece ring, or the ocular ring, or the collimation ring, whatever you want to call it. So once you get this collimated by unscrewing slowly until it lines up, you unscrew this ring to lock it, and once locked, tighten it up. There's a tool right here, you could do it by hand, but it's better to use the tool to get it real tight. This tool, once it's tight, your device is calibrated, collimated, infinity ring locked, and ready to use. just to show you that this device is currently functional, I'm gonna throw a battery in there, and just to show you that, hey, we actually built a device that works, not just for demo. Okay, so you open this battery case. Oh, it's already got a battery in it. Okay, I already have battery in it. Good. Don't build your device with a battery in it, but this device was already being built for a customer, and I like to keep the battery in to test the tube, make sure it's clean. Okay, so cap on. Since it's bright out here, I turn it on. Okay, now I need to see it's on. I'm just gonna remove the cap while it's pointing to the ground. Okay, it's manual gain, so now you gotta increase the gain. Let me see if I can get it on. The cap is on. I'm gonna keep it on so we don't damage the tube. But on, off, on, and then you could control the gain. Lower the gain, put the gain up, and now it's ready to go. We'll collimate it and it'll be set to go to the new customer. Thank you so much, and have a good day.